Tanisha, can you see my presentation mode?
We can see you and you're in presentation mode.
Thank you so much. One of the most amazing things I've experienced in Toastmaster is how do we keep our members? Every year, we have a goal that we need 4 members and 4 new members, but we really don't have a goal that's sitting somewhere that says retaining members. So today we're going to talk about how to retain members, how to keep them engaged, and more importantly, how to make your club a quality club. The district mission says we build new clubs and support our club in achieving excellence. The second half of that is most important today. We can't have excellent clubs if we don't have members. And we need to figure out how can we retain members, because each year we lose members over and over again. I think someone said earlier that we have additionally 400 new members this year. So how can we keep those members? I'm going to check your emotions for a second. When you're trying to retain members, do you look like this? You're frustrated, don't know what to do? Or you're still trying to figure it out, so you're just going around in circles, trying to figure out how can I retain members in my club? Or you sit down with your team and you scratch your head, man, we have members join, but how can we keep these members in the club? So here's the agenda for this evening. We're going to talk about understanding member retention. We're going to talk about retention challenges and solutions, the benefits of membership, member engagement, creating a supportive environment so our members will want to stay. And at the end, we're going to talk about takeaways. Let's talk about understanding member retention. Member retention is strategies and action taken by Toastmasters Club to retain existing members to keep them actively engaged in the Toastmasters program. So our goal is, once they come in, we have to figure out a way to keep them in order to maintain a quality club. Why is it important for Toastmasters to retain members? Here are a few reasons. Club continuity. In order for your club to run as smooth as you want members to stay because they have that experience and expertise. In any organization, when you start losing experience, you start losing quality. So we want to make sure our members stay to keep that experience. Community and camaraderie. If you notice, if all the club is new, you don't really have that much community, not that much conversation going on. But if you've been around each other for a while, you have a lot of camaraderie, a lot of community, and a lot of conversation. Meeting quality. Evaluation is the most important part of Toastmasters. It's one of the most positions that people just don't want to do. So if we don't have experienced members, we can't have quality evaluation. So we need to figure out how to keep the members so we have quality evaluation. And the last one, word of mouth promotion. If you're having fun, you like the club, you're going to talk about it. You're going to tell other people about it, and hopefully they will join your club. So those are some of the reasons why we need to figure out how to retain our members. Now, I want you to use the chat feature in your club. What are some of the reasons that people don't stay in Toastmasters? Using the chat feature, tell me why members do not stay. And if you can read some of those for me, where are they?
We have some coming in. Let's see.
Okay.
They moved away. We have life gets in the way. Lack of engagement. Lack of mentorship. Because of the leaders.
Oh, ouch.
They achieve a short-term objective, so maybe they never had plans to stay for long term. Okay. Lack of established goals is also in here. Some way they are overwhelmed. Lack of commitment. No guidance.
Ouch. I'm glad. Yeah, thank you, Therese. I am glad you mentioned those, and some of the things you're going to see on the next slide. Some things you already mentioned. For example, burnout. We got people doing too many roles. Lack of engagement. We're not engaging our members. Ineffective leadership. You have to have quality leadership in order to lead the club in the right direction. Mentorship. We can't have someone come into Toastmasters and not give them guidance on how to start pathways, complete a speech, submit it for credit. Failure to recognize achievements. Do you recognize your members, not only for Toastmasters achievements, but for achievements outside of Toastmasters? Some more challenges are monotonous in the meeting. Do you run your meeting the same way every week in the same order, or do you change it up a little? Break the monotony. Do you have a clique in your club? Only certain members hang out with certain members. Lack of personalization. Are you so structured that you can't relax a little bit and have the personality in your meetings? The club culture. How is your club culture? Do you always start on time? Do you always end on time? Do you have an agenda? Do you not have an agenda? How is your club culture? And as Tanisha mentioned, some of those factors, external factors, short-term goals, move away, things like that happen. But these are some of the challenges that people face when they leave your club. Here are a few solutions that we can use to try to help people stay. Effective leadership. Leadership is so important in the club, because if you have the right leadership, doing the right things for the right reason, people want to hang around. Mentorship. Have someone come in the club, assign them a mentor so you can guide them so they won't get frustrated on how to maneuver the Toastmasters program. Transparency. I know that line says communication, transparency, and conflict resolution. Transparency is key. Don't say things just to say them. Don't hide things. Be as transparent as possible with all your members. And if you have a conflict, make sure you nip it in the bud as soon as possible. Don't let it linger for the rest of the year. Have a social event. Sometimes you don't have to have a club meeting. You can have an event where people come together, just socialize, break the monotony, have a social event. Foster goal setting. Find out what the members want to achieve and make sure you help them reach those goals. A few more solutions. What are the incentives you have to meet those challenges? Share your long-term vision of the club and ask those members to help you complete that vision. Display achievements. I know we're mostly virtual, but you can bring up a chart every now and then and say, John has reached level 1, James reached level 2. Track their progress so people can have a visual mindset on where they are. If you have someone who has not been to the club in a while, reach out to them. Reach out to those people and find out what's going on. It could be something personal. It could be something else, but make sure you reach out to those people, not when it's time for dues. Reach out to them before it's time to pay the dues. You don't call them, oh, the dues are due, where you haven't seen them in 3 months. You're going to call them when it's time to pay dues. That's not a good thing to do. Reach out to them so you can find out exactly what's going on. And in your club succession plan, strategic plan, in your vision, create a retention plan. Each year, we try to get 8 members. Put in your plan, what can we do to retain these members? So make it a priority. If you can keep the members, gaining members will be a whole lot easier. How do we keep members engaged? It's a challenge. So here are 7 strategies that you can use. Vary your meeting format. Don't have the same agenda the same way every week. Change it up a little bit. You can have a table topics event, a speechathon, a backwards meeting, a game night. Have something different in your club to break the monotony. Goal setting and recognition. When someone reaches a goal, make sure you recognize them. If you're virtual, put a certificate on the screen to recognize that person. Have some type of organization where you can recognize that person for achieving those goals. Mentorship, and some of these things you're going to hear over and over again for different parts of this presentation, but it's to emphasize how to retain the members. The mentorship program, I think, is most important. Pathways It's not easy for a lot of members. So we got to figure out how to open pathway, how to select the speech, and how to complete the speech. Make sure if a member comes in that they have a mentor to make sure that they understand how to navigate pathways so they won't get frustrated and leave. Regular communication. Do you communicate only when it's time for meetings, or do you send out regular communications throughout the week, throughout the month about different things? Don't have the same communication, the same time every week. Talk about other things outside of the club meeting. So have regular communication so people can get used to you communicating with them on a regular basis. Member involvement. Someone is new, and they may sit back, don't give a speech week 1, don't give a speech week 2, don't give a speech week 3. Ask them to keep the time. Ask them to be the odd counter. Have a small role. Ask them to do something to get them involved. Because sometimes people don't know what to do, and they don't know if they can do it. Some members think, well, I've only been in Toastmasters for 2 months. Maybe I'm not qualified to do X, Y, Z. Ask them anyway to do something and get those members involved as soon as possible, and that will increase your retention rate. Workshop. I think this is super important. Have a workshop on evaluation. Have a workshop on contests. Have a workshop on table topics. Have a workshop on the club roles, especially general evaluation. I think it's super important that every club have great general evaluation so this give you quality meetings. And one thing I think everyone should do on a regular basis is the moments of truth. You'll be amazed at what you find out when someone can answer a survey and do it anonymously and get feedback from that person. Feedback and evaluation. Feedback is the most important part that we're going to have in this presentation. We got to get feedback on how we stand, why people are leaving, and why they're not engaged. So always solicit feedback from your members. And having all this set in stone, how can we create a supportive environment? Awards and recognition. Have an awards night. End of the year, do you have an award celebration? Do you recognize the ones who got the DTMs, level 1s, 2, 3 through 5? Did they complete a path? Do they do things in the conference? Make sure you have a situation where you recognize your members for their achievements. Evaluation and feedback. Do you give honest feedback? Do you teach your members how to give that feedback? It's super important that you have a training session on how to give feedback to your members, because quality feedback is important. Because if I can give you feedback on how to improve your speech, you can go somewhere else and be a better speaker. But if I give you a whitewash evaluation, you're not going to be able to improve. So feedback is super, super important. Communication leadership. Do you lead based on your title, or do you lead because that's what you want to do? Do people follow you because they want to? Do people follow you because they have to? That title, that badge you have, lasts for 1 year. If you have to continue to tell people that you are the president, you are the VP of membership, you are XYZ, then that's a problem. Communication and leadership. As a leader, lead by example. People watching you perform that role, and if they watch you do 100,000 things, and they're looking at you and thinking, well, I don't want to do that. That's too much work. However, if you ask someone to do that role, make sure you tell them exactly what is entailed, how much time you probably would need for this position. So communicate the right information as a leader, because you're leading by example. Some more information on how to create a more supportive environment is have a session and explain all the leadership roles in the club, from the president all the way to the sergeant at arms. Because when it's time for elections in May, there should never be a time where we can't elect all the 7 roles, because people don't understand what they entail. So make sure that you understand that it's your job as leaders in the club to bring up other leaders. So have a session where you explain all the roles so they can actually understand exactly what those roles entail. Networking opportunities. Using the chat feature again, how many of you have never, ever, outside of this event today, gone outside of your club? And Tanisha, if you can help me out with that chat feature.
I do not see anyone posting yet.
Outside of today's event.
We have one person said they hadn't so far.
Well, that's a good sign. The reason I asked that question is when I joined Toastmasters many, many years ago, it took me 4 years to go outside of my club. But no one ever told me what goes on outside of the club. So I encourage each and every one of you, if you have the opportunity, get outside your club as much as possible. Attend events like this, attend the annual conference, attend contests, division contests, area contests, because it's going to help you with your Toastmaster experience. I joined Toastmasters to get rid of the fear of public speaking. I had no idea as a leader that you speak more as a leader than you do as a regular member, because you're speaking in different events at different meetings more than you would as a regular member, and you're not a leader. So I encourage you to get outside your club, and you'll be amazed on how your Toastmaster career can grow. Member feedback. We talked about it earlier. Moments of truth. Always solicit that every year. If you've been President Distinguished for 10 years in a row, do the moments of truth. If you've never been President Distinguished, do the moments of truth. Every year, because you'll be amazed. You think you're doing great every year. And I was a part of a club like that. And we did the moments of truth. We found out a few things that members didn't like. We thought because we're President Distinguished, everybody's happy. But that was not the case. In order to retain members, we got to get their feedback and make some adjustments, even though we are President Distinguished. Now, we mentioned about retaining members. We mentioned about being engaged. We talked about the challenges, and we talked about solutions. All of that, we still need to know what are the benefits of being a Toastmasters. And here are a few. When you join Toastmasters, you improve your communication skills. Our members need to know that. Personal growth and professional growth. I joined Toastmasters to get rid of the fear of public speaking, and it also helped me in my job because a lot of interviews I was a part of, table topics helped me answer those questions. And I mentioned this early in the meeting Thursday. I was in an interview many years ago, and they said, Dwight, tell me about a time when. It was a situation I had never been in a day in my life. And because of table topics, I was able to come up with an answer. And it sounded so good, I almost believed the answer myself. And I thank Table Topics for really helping me in that situation. So Toastmasters can help you in many, many, many different ways to help you personally and professionally. Overcome that fear of public speaking. I wouldn't say 2 words in front of people many years ago. Now I'm able to speak in front of hundreds of people. Enhance your listening skills. That's super important. You can't give feedback if you don't listen well. Evaluation will help you listen at the speaker, listen at the members, and give proper feedback so that person can improve. So you will definitely enhance your listening skills by participating in evaluations. Networking. It is so important that when you go to these meetings, go to events like this, go to annual conference, that you meet other members. You may find something in common that you can connect with outside of that event. So networking is super, super important, even at the district level. And if you ever get a chance to go to the international convention, it's a whole nother level of networking because you meet members from all over the world. The last convention was in the Bahamas, and approximately 50, 60, 70 countries were there. You know, all over the world, you meet people from different backgrounds, different cultures, and you'll be amazed how much you have in common. So networking will definitely help you also in your development. And self-confidence. You've seen in many meetings where a person get the icebreaker and you can tell they just don't have that confidence. And after so many speeches and so many months in Toastmasters, you can see the change in that person. The Toastmaster will help you build your self-confidence as you continue to speak, take on different roles, and more importantly, take on leadership roles. Leadership development. I want to challenge everyone on this Zoom call to take on a leadership role in your club or the district level. You will be amazed at what it would do for you. I never thought about leadership when I joined Toastmasters, and I've done the club leadership role, the district role, and now a region advisor. And it is one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in Toastmasters. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of work, it's time consuming, but it's one of the most rewarding experience that you will have. So take advantage of the leadership role, and you'll be amazed at how it will develop you also. Always get feedback on how you're doing. And as a leader, and I want you to keep this in mind, you should not be surprised at the feedback you get about your performance. If you're honest and transparent, when you get that feedback, you should not be surprised at what is said about your performance. And you know what's true and what's not true, but you should not be surprised on the constructive feedback that you receive. Now, I know that was a lot of information, and we are trying to figure out how to retain members. So in the chat feature, based on everything you heard so far, what are some of the takeaways that you will take from this event, from this presentation?
Every member gets some mentors is the feedback that was dropped into the chat. Be creative with meetings to increase engagement. Vary club meetings. Retention solutions is another item that was dropped in the chat. Engage the new members more. Be welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be the change that you want your club to be.
Yeah.
We also have transparent feedback. Open to learning how to do a reverse/backwards meeting.
That should be fun.
Workshop events.
Yep.
Taking leadership roles will change your life. Mentorship was listed inside of the chat, and assign mentors right away when new members join.
All right. Thank you, Tanisha. Hopefully, everyone could understand that you came to this event. As Rod said in the beginning, you could have been anywhere today. I'm going to just roll the dice here. Everyone here is here for a reason, and you want to improve, and you want to take your experience to another level. Take advantage of every opportunity that Toastmasters has to offer. District look for leaders every year. We have new club need mentors. Yolanda J's opened up 5 clubs. I think she may be number 1 in the region for number of clubs that's open this year. We need mentors for these new clubs. Make sure they get off to a good start. Reach out to Yolanda for that information. We got a conference coming up. Tanisha's going to need some help for the conference. Reach out to Tanisha. Reach out to Rod. There's a lot of opportunity here. And imagine everyone on this call reach out to someone, and we can fill all these positions in the next 2-3 days. We all come together, and you'll be amazed at what can happen if we all work hard and make this district the best it can be. So some of the takeaways Tanisha's already mentioned, but here are a few more. We got to understand the importance of membership retention. Why it's important for Toastmasters clubs. Member engagement. Make sure you keep your members engaged every step of the way. Keep those meetings exciting. Create a supportive environment. If I come to your club, am I feeling welcoming, or do I sit there and, hey, Dwight, thank you for coming, and nothing else the rest of the time? Make sure you have a supportive environment. The benefits of being a Toastmasters member. Networking opportunities, member feedback. You're going to hear feedback many, many times. Make sure you get feedback on how to improve. Communication leadership. Don't lead by your title. Lead by the person who you are. And people should follow you because they want to, not because you have a title. Retention challenges, we mentioned those. Understand if you have those in your club, have a retention solution to solve those challenges. And now we're going to have Club Growth Director Extraordinaire, Yolanda J. She's going to come on and take you through another portion of this presentation and ask you a few questions and to get your feedback. Yolanda, I turn it over to you.
Absolutely. It's going to be you and I. Don't leave me just yet. So you touched on a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. And selfishly, as Club Growth Director, I absolutely want to know how club mentors help with retention. So R.A. Dwight mentioned club mentors are essential in all of the new clubs that we plan to bring on board. If we don't have them, how do they build the culture? But how do you guys think that club mentors will help with retention? And I'll also pass that on to R.A. Dwight about what do you think? What do you think, club mentors? How do they help with retention?
Well, mentors, if you have a new club, obviously everyone is new, really don't have an idea on how to run the club. We need somebody in there to guide them for the first few months, how to conduct a meeting, how to perform the roles, and have a structured meeting. Because you want to make sure it's structured and people are not trying to figure out, for example, you at the top of the mountain, you throw them off and hope they learn how to fly on the way down. We don't want that type of environment. So as a mentor, if they get off to a good start, more than likely they're going to be around a while. But if they're struggling and people get frustrated, and that's when I see people leave. So if we got a new club, make sure that they have a mentor and that mentor guide that club for a few months.
To help them stick and stay. That's what I'm hearing.
Help them stick and stay.
And what I tell my club mentors is that we want to bring all of our knowledge and expertise. So if you're thinking about being a club mentor, all you're doing is bringing your experience to a new club and showing them the way. But we also may want to make room, and I heard R.A. Dwight say this, to build their own fun club culture, for them to infuse their culture of their business or community program inside. So we don't want to be so strict that we don't, in our Robert's Rule of Orders, you know how we are, right? We don't want to be so strict that we don't allow them space to grow. But if you have knowledge and expertise and want to earn your DTM, that's a great place to start, Club Coach. So you can contact me for that. What about, club mentors? What about club coaches? How will they help improve retention?
Yeah, club coaches is so important. The way it's designed, if a club has 12 members or less, they qualify for a club coach. Obviously, they're struggling with membership and retaining members. A club coach is to go in and help that club improve, increase, so they get to distinguish and also increase the membership. Your guy is to help the club. And we have to keep in mind, and we talked about mentors and club coaches, you're not to tell them, demand that they do X, Y, Z. Your job is to help them, because you have to make them feel like you're trying to help and you're not coming in with a hammer and saying you have to do this, because every club environment is different and you have to understand that environment. I would say go to the club for the first time, just to go there and just see how it runs and get to know the people. Don't go there the first day with your pad and your pencil and, we got to do this, we got to do that. No, not the first day. Go in, get to know the people, let them know why you're there, and then let them know we're going to set up an official visit and we'll come back and we'll help that club. But club coaches are super important to make sure that club get to distinguished status.
Absolutely. So the R.A. Dwight mentioned club coaches are for clubs that have 12 or 3 to 12, let's say that, 3 to 12 members. They may not have reached distinguished clubs program status, and select distinguished, of course. And then they may need extra members. So you're bringing your expertise. So these are not new clubs. These are established clubs. That's the difference between mentor and coaches. And there's a flyer in the chat because we're calling for coaches, because we have a group of clubs that really need your support and your expertise. And like R.A. Dwight said, you don't want to go in there and tell them what to do, but go and observe and see where the holes may be and offer your expertise. I saw two of our club coaches on here today, so shout out to Coach Jim and shout out to Coach Deborah that are in the room today. Thank you for helping our clubs retain their members and also thrive and grow. Okay, this is my last question. How will club retention impact our district overall?
Oh, that's a great one. Let's get outside of Toastmasters for a second. You work at a company and you're producing at a high rate, and all of a sudden, most of your experience walk out the door. And because you have very little experience, your production will go down. Toastmasters is similar. You lose quality when a lot of our experienced members go away. And the mentee question, one of the questions was, how long have you been in Toastmasters? A great majority of the people have been here at least 5 years or more. So we need to figure out how to keep that experience. And when we have experience, share it with other clubs, because new people come in, they get frustrated. And then when you have a whole club of new people, it's hard to get things done because we lost a lot of experience. So it will help the district if we can retain all the experience that we can, and it'll be easier to navigate these club meetings, have better club quality, better club speeches, better feedback, evaluation overall. And hopefully with all the experience, we can get people to run for district leadership. But I think the experience would definitely help if we can keep members and make that one of our priorities this year.
Thank you for sharing those nuggets with us, because it definitely matters in my position as Club Growth Director to make sure that our club members understand that retention is imperative. Intention is imperative. One thing that you said that was a question that I had prepared that I absolutely loved. And in the chat, I always honor LaTanya McLean for being that person for me. But my question was, how do area, division, district, and international events cultivate retention? And it changed my life because my area director, my Toastmaster life, I should say, and my area director came in and shared all of these things that were happening with the club. She was always on it, giving us the information, and I took hold of that. And I'm here today because I stepped outside the club and began to do all those other things. So if you would close us out with, how do area, division, district, and international event cultivate retention?
I'll use my background as an example. My background says, reignite your passion. April 19th and 20th is the annual conference. Everyone on this Zoom call, mark that date. You will not regret if you come to the annual conference, because in your club, you have 20 to 30 members. Imagine, event where you have 200 to 300 members and you're networking. We got speakers that come from outside of the district. We have events where you can be among people you probably never would see on a regular basis. So area, division, district, international is amazing. It opened my eyes because I said earlier, it took me 4 years to go outside the club. And once I went outside, I realized how big Toastmaster was. But if you ever get a chance to go to an international convention, hats off. As Helen Branchett once said, if you get out of Toastmasters, all there is to get out of Toastmasters, you probably will never get out of Toastmasters. So go to these events, save the date, April 19th to 20th at the Hilton in Peachtree Corners. You won't regret it. So get outside the club, bring your members with you. And if you do get outside the club, some members do not come, take back the information to them, take photos, show them exactly what happened, how much fun you had. But I think getting outside the club is huge for retention. Yolanda.
Opens the world up of Toastmasters.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's more to that four walls of the club, and it was imperative for where I am today, how getting outside the club. All right, that's the last of ours. Do you have any closing remarks, R.A. Dwight?
I just want people to focus on retention, focus on club quality. I know some clubs may have 8 members, 12 members. Have quality club meetings. We can't say, we only got 5 members, we got 8 members. You can still have a quality meeting. But more importantly, if I visit your club, whether it's 2 or 20, have the same excitement, have the same energy. in your meeting. As the visitors come, they're looking at you and they're looking at the energy of the meeting, and they're going to decide, will I join this club or will I go somewhere else? So to everyone, focus on retention. And what if everyone on this Zoom call in the next 8 months get 2 people to join your club? At least 2. And retain everybody. You'll be amazed at the quality of the club meeting, the quality of the district, and I say the more the merrier. So let's focus on retention. Let's focus on retention. Let's focus on retention, and let's have an amazing year.
And building those relationships. That's what I took away. Building the relationships, not just asking for the money. The district director has a question for you, so I'm gonna open up the floor for him to answer your question. Any other questions? Drop them in the chat, please.
All right, Dwight, I just wanted to, I have a question I wanted to ask. And since we're talking about retention and the importance of retention, as many may know, the dashboard has updated today, and we now have an opportunity to see the impact of retention and our members renewing. And so we have dropped below 100 clubs, 100 active clubs as a district. So I wanted to know if you can just share a little bit for our members who may not necessarily understand the impact of that, just how impactful that is for us as a district, and how we can address that together to be able to increase that number so that we don't continue to lose our clubs and our members.
Sure. And most people in the club don't understand the dashboard on the district level. They're worried about their club only. And for those that don't, the district has a goal. I think you start with 130, 35, I believe, 135 clubs. And they have so many clubs they need to increase it by to be distinguished. Now, we drop, as Rod said, below 100. That means 30 clubs that did not pay enough membership in order to be a club. So we need to figure out those clubs need to get coaches, or we need to figure out what happened. So when we lose that type of membership, it reduces the number of people in this district. And then when we lose that many people, it's hard to find leaders to step up. So it starts snowballing. So to everyone, go back to your club, find out what's going on and why people are leaving. I encourage you to do the moments of truth so you can figure out how people are feeling. And just make sure that you're doing what it takes to keep those members. So as we continue to move forward, we can't continue to lose these members because it affects the clubs, it affects what the district can do for everyone else. And also, when people pay their dues, the district gets so much money back in order to operate the district. So there's a lot of things that goes on. So losing that many members is not a good thing for the district. So we need to figure out in those clubs, get those coaches in order to increase those numbers again.
Thank you so much.
I will say the upside to that, if there is an upside of losing almost 30 clubs, is that not all of them are gone. Some of them need invoices, and I know a couple of them that are just corporate clubs that are waiting to pay. So we will see it bounce back, but we do need your help. We need at least 8 of your members for your club to be verified complete, but you definitely want to renew at base is my goal for you to renew at base, but definitely 8 or more. So let us know how we can help you. We're definitely, Tanisha and I, planning some plugged in tours and coffee and conversations so we can get this conversation started. And I think one of our leaders just mentioned club coaches are needed. And so if you could help us out with your expertise again and that club coach realm, we would be appreciative. Any closing remarks?
Yeah, there was one question by Katrina. She said, do you have suggestions for the moments of truth, asking the tough whys? For Katrina, make those moments of truth anonymous, and so you can get honest feedback. And sometimes people don't want to reveal who answered the question. And you can find out, okay, what do you think about our meetings? Why have you not attended? What can we do to improve? So those questions kind of figure out what they need to do in order to make the quality meeting. Don't be afraid to make it a tough question because you want their feedback. So just make it anonymous and you're more likely to get honest feedback. The chat has another one. No, the anonymous survey does not exist. You have to create that yourself, Chad.
And Katrina is an avid MOT, and she creates them in Google Drive. So that's a way that you can do it. You don't have to ask for emails back, so it's anonymous. So that's a way. Any other questions before we close out this session? All right, Dwight, it's always a pleasure to hear your voice. It's a very calming to the chaos that could be Toastmasters. I feel like you're always the calming voice that puts it all in perspective. And retention isn't an easy or sexy topic, but you made it relevant for, it's just not, right? We don't want to talk about it.
I'm still trying to solve world peace, so that's my goal.
All the new and shiny stuff, but this is the needed. I've been a Toastmaster for 18 years, and I don't want to do anything else in my hobby time. I have a lot of other things going. This is the hobby that I love. I share it everywhere I go. So retention is very important, not only to me as a club growth director, but as a person. I love to stick and stay. And so I like to ignite other people with that same passion to stick and stay. So thank you for making it relevant, easy to digest. You have one more thing?
Yeah, one last thing to everyone. This is a challenge. Do something this year or last year or next year that you have not done. So if you have not been a club officer, be a club officer. If you've been a club officer and have not been a district officer, be a district officer, air director. Do something different to keep taking your Toastmaster career up. So that's your challenge, to find something you have not done and step outside your comfort zone. That's my last challenge.
Although Katrina's trying to come for my job,
okay.
I've been trying to do something else next year. We appreciate you, R.A. Dwight. He is home. This is home for him, but we appreciate him coming officially as the regional advisor. We are done with our session. We're going to close it over to the host of the Mostess this evening, Tanisha Bulla. Thank you, R.A. Dwight.
You're welcome.